Talks with me, Gifty and Opia. Now, Ghana Movie Awards Best Actor Ajite Anan is leading the Actors Workshop for this year, which is aimed at improving standards in Ghana's movie industry. The event, of course, takes place on Saturday, and Mr. Anan is here with me in the studio. He's not alone. He's with Kuadzi, who's the CEO of MK Casting. He's known, of course, for he casted those people who you saw in The Beast of No Nation, which is a Netflix original film, which starred British actor Idris Elba and brought Ghanaian-born Hollywood actor Ibrahim Atta to fame. Let me welcome the gentleman to the studio. You're welcome.
Thank you.
You've been my crush for a very long time, you know.
Really?
So it's good to have you. It's good to have you on the show. How are you doing, by the way? Okay, and yourself?
I'm great.
Great to have you. Let's talk about how life has been for you. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Well, it has, as far as multi-TV is concerned.
Okay.
I've not been here for a while.
For a while.
So.
What have you been up to?
Working.
Working. What kind of work?
Yeah, shooting from one production to the next.
Okay.
Yeah, and so that's what I've been doing basically, and of course lecturing as well.
Lecturing.
Yeah.
So this workshop, what's it all about?
I think Malcolm would want to answer that.
Okay, there you go, Malcolm.
He's my boss. So
Okay, so MK Casting did a workshop last year where we train actors, and then this year we are coming out with another one, and we have resource persons like Ajite Anan and then Diane Fields who are going to help us train the actors.
Okay, so that's it?
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
And also we use it to discover talents for upcoming projects that we'll be working on.
Okay. Let me come back to you, Mr. Anan. Let's talk about the industry, but first let's look at the political side of the industry.
Okay.
There's been a lot of talk going on about who should be Deputy Minister for the Creative Arts and all of that. Are you one of the people who is looking to grabbing that position?
Just before I answer that, just to top up to what he said, I believe that, you know, in our industry today, people talk of talent. You know, I have a talent, so I want to act, I want to do that. I always say that, look, talent is good, but then, you know, training and gaining that skill is an advantage, is better. And so people out there who think that they have the talent, I think there's a fine opportunity for you to gain some training and skill within the day. Okay, back to your question.
Back to the question, and try and link that, what you have just said about, you know, grooming the talents to why we should pay attention to people like you and Malcolm in the first place. Well,
I think that, look, it's well, first and foremost, I'm not really positioning myself for that title yet, because I think that there's little more that I need to do. You know, if you're taking a position like that, then you have to be really, you know, up to scratch, and it means that there are areas where you have to really, you know, probably maybe learn, educate yourself on.
Well, you don't want to learn.
Well, I'd rather do the learning back door and then come out in the open that, okay, I think I'm ready for the position.
So, but you follow the conversation that's been going on.
I
do. Who are you looking at? Socrates or?
Well, honestly, I apart from Socrates that I've heard in the media, I haven't heard of any other. I think that for a position like that, we need to have options so that when we make the decision, then we know that, you know, we made the perfect decision.
So what are the options? You are in the industry. What do you think are the best of options available?
I think that for me, somebody who is really, you know, soaked, born and bred in the industry.
I need specifics.
Specifically, I can't call names on top of my head, but you know, I think there are people in the country now who have really paid their dues as far as, you know, our industry is concerned, who do not just have national knowledge, but, you know, global knowledge, and who can bring so much, you know, for this industry and for that matter for this country. And so people should begin to look at that and cast their net wider, so that if we zoom in and we have, you know, whatever we have, then we pick up from the lot. I'm
disappointed that you don't have names, because you are in the industry, and I believe that talking about being soaked in the industry, you're one of the people who should be soaked in the industry. Really? So I'm really disappointed that you're not giving me names. Have you got some names, Malcolm?
No, I don't.
Seriously? You two don't have names?
No.
For people who you think can man the industry that you're players in?
I believe if there's a great...
Oh, you're being diplomatic?
Oh, no. Me, I'm not diplomatic.
So drop it.
But it's just I don't have any name now. But there are a lot of people who are very competent who could
like?
Like Ajite here.
Oh, really?
Ajite is not ready for that position. Okay, let's look at the industry itself, the artist industry and all of that. How do you think we can nurture this industry and push national development through this industry? If you're happy to go, Malco, you can take that for me.
Well, first we have to understand that our industry itself has a problem.
It has a problem?
It does.
Okay.
And once we are able to discover those problems, then we can solve it. Because myself, I got to realize that casting in Ghana has a problem. Okay. So I decided to go only into casting. Okay. There are people who discover problems and then they go only into it, and that's what we are doing. People begin to find, because I don't see a lot of assistant directors in Ghana, like first ADs. We don't really have a lot. Maybe we might have some, but we don't really have a lot to take care of jobs. So if maybe some people find it as a problem and then they delve into it, I'm sure we'll keep going from there, and then we. So
it's about identifying the problems and tackling it one after the other. And you believe that there's a gap when it comes to casting, and that's what you've taken up, Ajite?
Well, I will still go back to education. I think that is one thing that we lack, especially in this industry, where people just rely on talent and people they know. And so let me get a quick way onto the screens and be like a Jackie Appiah and Adi Buhari. I think that, yes, I mean, talent works to a certain extent, but, you walk down the street, you might have hundreds of talents out there. What edge do you have over them? Yes, your education, your training in the field. And out there when you look at places like Hollywood that we always dream about, these are people who have really, really studied their area. It's not just talent, but they do research, they do their training, the skill, the school. And I think that's what we lack here. I must say that, okay, we don't have a lot of institutions, that would cater for the numbers, but the few that we have, we don't still have people who are really struggling to get in there and, year in and year out. And I think that
struggling to get in, as in it's very competitive.
It's not really competitive in the sense that people really shun it. They don't think I think it's a longer process. I'd rather my uncle who has some capital who wants to go into movies, I'd rather join him and be a star overnight. But
I was just talking to Kobna about. I mean, we know the industry. A lot of things happen around love and sex. I was just talking to Kobna about all of those things. Don't you have any love issues? I haven't heard of your love issues yet.
Why would you want to know my love issue?
Anyway, but you've heard about Kobna's issue. People say that he's divorced.
I've read a number of some few headlines on social media.
He thinks that the tabloids are doing a very bad job. Do you agree?
Well, I mean, if he's saying it, then of course. I mean, I'm saying that, look, the tabloids sometimes are caught in a world where they want to make headlines. There's sometimes when they get it very right, and there are times that they don't. I'm talking from personal experience.
Okay. What was the biggest rumor that was untrue that went round about you?
That I was dead.
That you were dead?
Yeah, I was no more. I mean, and I had Joy call me to find out,
whether you were dead. Or alive.
So I mean, sometimes they do. I don't know whether some people just put things out there for people to make news, and so sometimes they do get it wrong.
I see. Okay, we'll be wrapping up this conversation, but let's not do that without touching again on what we need to know about the workshop. The quick information that we need to know about the workshop.
Yes, and we're doing this together. So we want to have a new course of talent coming up where we could train them, because training is very important. Even though it's going to be a one-day workshop, it's going to be very, very intensive.
Okay, when is the date again?
It's coming Saturday.
This Saturday, which is 4th of February. Yes. Where?
At the British Council.
British Council. So 4th of February, British Council, and you're looking forward to what? You just walk in there. People just walk in there.
There's a registration ongoing now at 100 cities. Because I mean,
we're going to have to bring you an invoice, I'm afraid. Anyway, well, let's wrap up the discussion. Have you been following the political development that's going on, the voting, the briberies come down, everything? Yes, I should pick your brain on that.
Well, if some of these things that are coming out are true, then it's rather unfortunate. I think that after we've had a successful election where Ghana is back on the map again, things like this shouldn't be, and in one breath, it is good that they're coming out, because then people are beginning to pinpoint the wrongs so that we deal with them. But again, it cuts a kind of shadow that we don't really, we're not looking forward to, especially when we had such a successful elections.
Parliament is investigating itself. There's an ad hoc committee that's supposed to investigate the matter.
Right.
These people are coming from Parliament and they're investigating their colleagues.
Yeah. Right.
What do you think?
Well, I think that, some of our leaders have talked about integrity, and standing for justice, for the law and not for personal gains or friendships. And so I want to believe that the people that we've put in, at those positions will do just that.
Okay. Yeah. Have you got any words for us on that, Marco, yourself?
I wouldn't like to touch on that.
Really?
I'd rather be... sometimes I don't know what is truth and what is not. So I rather
you rather stay in your movie industry. But the movie industry is governed by the same politicians who make the decisions and make the policies for you.
Well, if I have to say something about I will, but sometimes you don't know what is the truth. So
you leave it at that.
Yes.
Okay. So 4th of February, which is Saturday, British Council, that's where you get to see Adite Annan. Pusha. He'll be there in his numbers as well as Malco. Thank you very much, gentlemen, for passing through.
Thank you for
I hope
having
that
us.
you're able to nurture the talents that we have and give them the education you talk about, so we can have a very sophisticated industry, hopefully, like Hollywood. This is The Pulse. My name is Gifty Andopia. Gary Al Smith is standing by with sports on The Pulse. Please stay. I hope you've enjoyed so far.